Okay, so does Asia have a customs union like Europe?
Okay, so first I have to explain what a customs union is, but don't worry, just at a high level. So customs union, like the EU, is when all of the members of the customs union have basically, preferential the same trade policy with each other, but they also have the same with members that are not part of the customs union. So as an example, China would have the same treatment with France as it would with Germany, because France and Germany are part of the same customs union. So in Asia, there is no customs union, so it doesn't exist. That being said, there are free trade areas in Asia, so like ASEAN is an example, where the different members of ASEAN give each other sort of trade benefits, but they continue to have different trade policies with non-members of the free trade area.
Yeah.
Simple, right?
Simple. Hey, so before we move on, what's ASEAN?
ASEAN stands for the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Hope I got it right. It has 10 countries, all in Southeast Asia. You want to do it, David?
Yeah, I'll take this. Yeah, there's a lot of differences across Asia, and as we mentioned before, ASEAN is not a customs union, so each country have their own domestic regulations and legislation. But there is some commonality. So some regulations, such as those controlling strategic goods, and we all know what strategic goods are, goods that can be used in both military and domestic applications. So those regulations are based on international agreements. So there's a lot of commonality in the requirements across all of the countries within not only Asia, but around the rest of the world. And of course, the best way to stay on top of all of the regulations and requirements is to come and work with a trusted partner like ourselves that can help you understand what those regulations are and how to comply with them.
RCEP stands for the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, and basically it's a free trade agreement among 15 nations across APEC. I can't remember the 15 nations, yes, but I think good point to note is that it's one of the largest free trade agreement in this region. It accounts for 30% of the GDP, I think 30% of the world's population as well, and a quarter of the world export volume. So what does it mean for business? How does it support business? By utilizing RCEP, because it is the first free trade agreement among nations like the Southeast Asia countries, as well as countries like China, New Zealand, Australia, Japan, South Korea. So this is the first free trade agreement that brings all these countries together, right? So you would have an opportunity to actually look at optimize your supply chain. It gives you the opportunity to source your product from the different countries and still qualifies it as a country of origin.
That's great for businesses.
Yes, that's great for businesses. They can start thinking about how to actually optimize their supply chain and lower their tax liability.
So it really blends sort of all the supply chains, all the manufacturing, and all those different 15 economies together so that you can benefit from duty savings, assuming you trade within that block, right?
Yes, correct.
Wow,
assuming within. The other benefit is the ease of customs clearance process, right? With RCEP, you don't have to actually prepare the CO to facilitate customs clearance. They have a self-certification CO form that you can fill in, and it qualifies you for that free trade agreement.
So a CEO is a certificate of origin, right?
Yep. So it stands for country of origin. It also stands for certificate of origin.
Complicated.
Too many acronyms.
Lots of acronyms in international trade.
Yeah. So I think these are the main points that businesses should take note and take advantage of in terms of the free trade agreement in this region. One is that it simplifies customs process. there are processes within customs clearance that if you do qualify for RCEP, you don't actually have to adhere to certain customs process. It facilitates quicker customs clearance. The other important point is lowering your tax liabilities. So businesses should take note to actually relook at how they're actually sourcing their products. And if you're actually sourcing your products within these 15 economies, and if you do actually qualify for RCEP, then make use of the free trade agreement.